Okay, so I start. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm very happy to be here with you today, and thank you very much for inviting me and and the Commission in general to present the evolution of the partnership between Africa and Europe in the area of Earth observation and space in general. So I'm Cecilia Donati. I work in the department of the Commission in charge with international partnership. Sometimes you hear about us with the ugly acronym that is DG INPA. This is what it is behind the acronym. I work in a thematic unit that is responsible for digital transformation, and in particular, I'm responsible for space cooperation in Africa. And today, I would like to give you a little bit of an overview of how the partnership that it's indeed solid and long-lasting with between Africa and Europe is evolving in the area of Earth observation. I will not give myself concrete funding opportunity, but I would rather set the scene and give you an overview of where we are from a policy and a political point of view. And I see already that there are many of our partners that will give more insight into concrete funding opportunity. So now I will share my screen. I tried it later, so it should work, but technology, you never know. So I think you can see. If you're not, please let me know. Otherwise, no, I think, can you see? No, I don't see stop. Wait 1 second. I did something indeed. Okay, so it should be fine, right?
Yes, it's right.
Okay, fantastic. So, the title it's already there, and my talk would be about the EU-Africa Space Partnership Program, and it's indeed about strengthening Africa-EU partnership in the area of space technology and related services. So it's a little bit more than only Earth observation, but of course you will notice that Earth observation is a long focus also for linked to our long-lasting cooperation. So. Okay, well, yeah. Okay, let me just quickly start to give you a short introduction where everything is coming. So we hear a lot about the word geopolitical and linked to our approach into cooperation. So we talk about the geopolitical European Commission that is working into strengthening the support and the partnership with a partner country and a like-minded partner. So indeed, the idea is to promote a green and digital transition and to offer a sustainable approach, a sustainable offer that is very much linked and focused on sustainable investment. You will see that investment are really key in this changing geopolitical context, and the role of the private sector will become more and more important into delivering the outcome or the objective set. So you might have heard, and if not, if it's the first time, we are here also to explain a little bit about the Global Gateway. So the Global Gateway, what it is, as you can see it here, is the EU sustainable offer to partner country to accelerate a fair transition that meet infrastructure need. So it's about promoting transition, and it's about infrastructure needs. And the 5 areas that, yes, Linda?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry. There's just a little problem
that
with
you
the
don't see,
display. We can see the slide, but there are
but
some like gray squares.
yeah, because now it's better, right?
Almost, there's still a small square on
Yeah, but
the top
it's the
right, but that's fine. We can see the text on the slide. So
maybe
that's
here is better. Then I don't see anything anymore. So you need to interrupt me, and so if you raise your hand, then I don't see. It was the camera for me to see and interact with you. So if there is anything, please just intervene because I don't have
okay, but
any
that's
view on the room. Okay, so the slide before talked about the geopolitical European Commission, and I think you can see everything here. Here is about the Global Gateway, as I was explaining. What are the principle? The principle, it's about a 360 approach, so meaning that we do not focus only on a pillar, but on a comprehensive package. We start with the infrastructure, we look into the regulatory environment, and we also support skills development, capacity building, peer-to-peer cooperation, partnership, and so on. What are the areas that are the core of the Global Gateway? It's education and research, health, transport, climate and energy, and digital. And of course, I'm coming from the digital transformation unit, so digital is the focus and it's also the entry door for our space cooperation, but I have not highlighted any of them because all of them might be relevant in when we think about Earth observation. Services that are based on Earth observation can really make a lot of difference in all this domain. So in this slide, I just want to recap what are the objectives that are linked to the investment, and it's basically going from a bigger picture down to a bit smaller and to be more concrete down to the opportunity. So the opportunity that you will hear from the colleagues later on are coming from this big picture. So in this picture, indeed, we talked about the contributing to the twin transition, international cooperation on research and innovation, but also on the Green Deal, so on the climate agenda. It's about interoperable internet, of course, and digital connectivity that is not really touched in our program, but it's also essential, of course, even more when we talk about digital services and we talk about large volume of data. How do we do this? So how do we implement and how do we try to join forces? We put in place what we call Team Europe. So we work with all partners that are either the private sector or the development banks or the member state or the technical, the EU international partners. And we talk and we work all together to share same objective, to share information, good practice, and to advance into reaching the outcome and the output that we have established together. Of course, the investment are very, the amount is very huge and big. And so only by working together in a coordinated way, we think we could reach better impact on the ground for the future, and also aiming at a little bit more sustainability as the key role of the private sector. So this is a little bit the general context. When it comes to Africa, we need to recognize that we are not starting from zero. So the cooperation, it's in place since many, many years, and not only by the Commission, but also by all the partners that you will hear from today. And so we need to look back into the initial program. There were Puma, AMSD, MESA, and then we went into CLIMSA, GMES in Africa 1, GMES in Africa 2 for the Earth observation side, but then also for the satellite navigation, we have a program that is called JPO, as a JPO program, and also we support satellite-based augmentation system, the development of an ESBA system in Africa. So this is our background, this is our history, this is where we have worked together to establish a strong trust between the two continents and the two group of actors. So looking ahead, of course, everything that has been developed and has been achieved in this program need to be recognized, and we need to build on top of it. But we also want to bring a little bit of innovation, a little bit of new ingredient into this cooperation. So what are those ingredients? We want to work together on a long-term partnership. I think the word partnership is really key here, because we really want to establish a partnership not only at political level, but also at technical level. We want to work on a peer-to-peer partnership. We want to support cooperation and collaboration across the different sector and the different topic. We want to streamline our cooperation. So we want to bring as much as possible benefit to the user by combining different technology, by combining different intervention area, and so on and so forth. And of course, we live in an economy that is very much data driven, and where the role of private sector is ever increasingly important. So we need to have a strong focus on private sector and data driven economy. And so these are just a few new ingredients that we are bringing to a long and solid partnership and cooperation across the continent. And how do we translate this? We translate it into the Africa EU Space Partnership Program that is built around three pillars. So the approach is to look into this partnership from a triangle, three point of views. We have the institutional partnership, so we have a strong focus on strategic dialogue and at policy and political level. We have a strong focus on green transition, so everything that can be space based or Earth observations based, satellite navigations based, and so on and so forth. So how can we deliver services that are impactful and answering to needs, but also have a strong focus on environment? And last angle is the private sector. So indeed, the focus on the data-driven economy. And there it's all about innovation, sustainable growth, matchmaking, challenges, hackathon, but you will hear much more later on. So again, how do we go? So you will see that we are going again from the very big picture to we are getting more concrete and concrete every next slide. So the partnership has been announced also at the beginning of the year, and it's a partnership that it will involve a commitment from the EU of 100 million. And this commitment will be set in place or so implemented through a step approach, so a two-step approach. We have a first set of action for 45 million and then a second set of action for 55 million. So the first set of action, the first 45, well, the title, no surprise, Africa Youth Space Partnership Program, it is the program that we are discussing here today. It's a 4-year program that started in 2025. It's funded by the Multi-Annual Indicative Program for Sub-Saharan Africa, and it's answering to the political priority area 4, science, technology, and innovation and digitalization. The action document looks into 3 objectives. So the action document is really like a sort of like framework that give us the possibility of developing a program. So this framework has as an overall objective is to contribute to sustainable development, green transition and digitalization in Africa through the enhanced EU-Africa Space Partnership. But then more specifically in going into detail, the specific objective 1, it's for institutional and innovation space cooperation framework. The specific objective 2 is about support for early warning system and is the EU support to the, well, from one side to the UN early warning for all, but also from the African Union AMEWAS system. And the third pillar is about supporting the Africa space sector ecosystem and industrial cooperation. So in my next slide, which I believe you will share the slide, and in any case, mine can be shared. There is just a list of indicative activities. I will not spend a lot of time here simply because I have in the agenda, you will have already several focus on from the implementing partner, and you will hear a little bit more concrete what this activity will be. So you will allow me that I will just scan it very quickly just to avoid consuming time for later on the discussion. So when we think about how to enhance the institutional and innovation framework, we think about supporting the operationalization of the Africa Space Agency. We think about also supporting the EXNOS-based system and the Galileo service in Africa. We think about establishing or enhancing the Africa-Europe New Space Industrial Partnership. So we also have this very technical angle of new space. When we go into the space for early warning, this becomes very, very linked to disaster risk reduction, of course, but also to numerical weather prediction, meteorological satellite application facilities, impact-based forecast services and tools. So everything that we can bring and we can develop, of course, based on all the expertise and the knowledge that we have here in the EU, starting from the Copernicus program, because of course I have not mentioned it straight away like this, but of course we strongly rely on the expertise that have been developed within the Copernicus program and the capabilities that Copernicus program can bring. And the last part on private sector ecosystem, I mentioned very quickly at the very beginning, it's about innovation. So it's about incubator center, hackathon challenges, continental competition, and I'm sure you will hear much more later on. So a word on who is implementing the program, of course, with whom we have partner to indeed implement the program. So you will hear here from component, but of course we have we have the African Union Commission and the Africa Space Agency, which will play a key role into coordinating at continental level the implementation of the program and to ensuring the political support and buy-in. We have the partner with the European Space Agency for the support to the private sector as well as the support to operationalization of the Africa Space Agency and all the work in the new space domain. And we have partnered with EUMETSAT and ECNWF for what we call now Space for Early Warning. So it's the component number 2, looking into support to disaster risk reduction, or with the very lovely acronym SIWA. If you hear about SIWA, this is what SIWA is all about. So this is the first 45 million. The program started in January 2025. This meeting today is very timely because the program has just started. So we are all very busy in setting up the right tool to then launch the real implementation. So you will hear about opportunity that will come in the future, near, medium, and longer term. But you might wonder, what about the other 55? Indeed, we talked, I mentioned at the beginning, the partnership is 100 million. Here we discussed the first 45. We are very busy right now getting through the second action document, so the second 55 million, which will have a strong focus on green transition. So if you recall at the very beginning, we had 3 pillars. The first action document is very much cover pillar 1 and pillar 3, a little bit of pillar 2 that it's about space-based services in support to green transition. And the upcoming action document will have even a bigger focus on that area. So I believe it will be very interesting for you to follow the development. Other type of action will also be part of the action document. But as I said, we are in the final stage of finalizing and approving the action document. So it will be hopefully soon be public, and you will have the possibility to have a look. The timeline, I think, is always nice to have a visual about the timeline. So I should put here something to say that we are here. So we have started the implementation of the first action document, so the blue line, and the second action document, we will soon start discussing about contract, because the program will start in 2027, which we think is very far away, but time is always going very fast. So sorry, this is a repetitive slide I already presented, and that's it. If you should remember a few words about my presentation, I would like you to go away with the message of partnership, peer-to-peer partnership, cooperation, opportunity, and innovation is and ownership. It's what I think it's important element of our program. Thank you very much.